I'm Bailey Armour from First Bet here with expert handicapper Scott Shapiro, who has plenty of Derby experience on site, plenty of content, plenty of tips. And today we're here to tell you about how to wager on the Kentucky Derby like a pro. Now, Scott, I know we've talked about this a lot back and forth, and we kind of identified three key things that you want to avoid as you head into this weekend of handicapping for the Kentucky Derby. What can you tell the people about what not to do?
Yeah, Bailey, exciting times, one of the most exciting times of the year, period, especially as a racing fan. We kind of look forward to this. We handicap the Derby for 6 months, it seems. At least some of us weirdos do. But yeah, are some things, and, these kind of, many of them are for all big days. Some of them could be applied on an everyday basis, but they particularly matter to me on Derby. And I say this coming from a lot of losing experiences on the first Saturday in May. And I think the first one is don't go crazy early. It's very, I'm excited. We're recording this on Wednesday morning, and I'm already excited to bet on the Derby card. It's important to kind of make sure you don't get ahead of yourself and bet half your budget on the early pick three because you think you're going to hit it. And then you miss out on that. You got half your budget left, some of your stronger opinions to go. So I think that is a key, not to go crazy early because of the excitement and the adrenaline flowing. Another thing is, I think, there might be a race like the Derby that will have inefficiencies that we don't see on a lot of other days. A lot of that has to do with the CAWs, the computer assisted wagering and whatnot. But I think with the, other races, don't think you've got to, make big bets on them or bet more just because they're stakes races and they're bigger. The inefficiencies probably aren't that much better, if at all. And from what I understand, $5,000 claiming events, when you go to the window, they pay the same amount as these big races. So that's always something to keep in mind, right? And then, don't try to be a hero on the big day. It's actually more difficult because of the field sizes to hit pick fours, pick fives, supers. I know everybody wants the big score. They want to have that story on Derby Day that they have to tell forever. But don't try to be a hero. Kind of stick to your normal plan. Sure, if you want to play the Derby superfecta because you think there's, once in a year type value there, that's understandable. But getting too far outside of your comfort zone, I think, can lead to poor decisions and a losing day.
Yeah, I feel like we're all waiting for like the first day of summer camp. Like there's so much buzz around Derby, but it really is so important to remember, kind of pace yourself and really understand and make those smart wagers as we head into this weekend. Now,
No,
we talked about, no, go ahead.
No, I agree with everything you said. Absolutely. It's really important, overall to just not go too far out of your comfort zone just because it's of a big day. I mean, if you're doing this for entertainment, you bet a couple times a year. We still want you to try to win, but I understand, going a little bit outside of your comfort zone then. But if you're trying to be a winning player throughout the year and throughout the month, you got to kind of try to stay away from these don'ts, if you will.
Yeah, I think keeping these tips in mind will really help people to kind of take their handicapping to the next level.
Without question. Well, let's talk about a couple of the do's that we have. And I think the first one is just because the Derby is late in the day and there's other grade ones and the races get bigger as we go along, that doesn't mean if your strongest opinion comes in race 2 or race 4 that you bet less on those races because you want to stay alive for the Derby and have half your bankroll left. Now, you want to save money for the Derby, and I know it's kind of a one of a kind type thing. But if your strongest opinion's in race 2 and it happens to be at noon Eastern, or I think it's even earlier on Derby, and you're afraid about getting, losing half your bankroll because you want to be able to play all day, well, you're probably not in the right game. That's for entertainment, and that makes sense. But if you're trying to be a winning player, you got to press those opinions regardless of where they are situated on a given card, particularly in this case on the Derby card. Another thing, I kind of go back to one of the don'ts I talked about, there's probably not crazy inefficiencies in the Derby pools and these undercard races with the computers these days. But maybe you can make the argument that you can find some inefficiencies in the Derby that you wouldn't find in really any other race with all of the novice players. Still, the computers are going to have their say when they go to post and when they break. But maybe, trying to take advantage of that one race a year, a little bit different than all the other stakes races that we talked about, kind of not going crazy on the Derby, maybe finding inefficiencies there and pressing those opinions, is something worthwhile. And then finally, this is kind of a silly one, Bailey, but remember, unless you're a pro and you're paying your bills on this, this is about entertainment. A lot of us are in this to be as professional as possible and try to be winning bettors. But, this is entertaining. We're looking forward to the Derby. If I lose a couple bucks, I can still have a great day. So remember that when you're stressing yourself out about all these other do's and don'ts that maybe or maybe will not lead you to a winning day.
Yeah, absolutely. There really is no other job on earth like playing the races or even getting to do it with your friends and the people that you work with. So remembering that at the end of the day, we're in this to have fun and be entertained. That's what's most important for me, I think, especially as we head into this weekend. All right.
Yeah, no doubt
Anything
about it.
else that the people need to know?
No, I just want to know who you're on in the Derby as of now.
Well, I went out to watch training earlier this week. I got to see quite a bit of the field as they were prepping for Saturday's big race. I still really like the looks of Sierra Leone. Of course, got to see Fierceness, go a couple times around the track, and I think it might be a Sierra Leone Fierceness exacta for me. The more I see him in person, the more I get it. He's a really nice horse, and he just runs with his ears forward, and it's so fun to watch.
He's if he runs his race, which is the big if, because we know if he runs it, it's just faster than what the rest of these horses at least have accomplished thus far. He's going to be very tough to catch and could win pretty easily in here. But you've got the mental side of things, which I know you really like to talk about and think you have one of your edges there, knowing the animal a little more than the rest of us, or at least a lot of us. But I get it. I want to be more creative in this race as well. I landed on Just a Touch, but I'm not able to overly excited about completely tossing either of the favorites.
Mm-hmm. Just a Touch had a really nice kind of way of going as he went around the track this week. When I saw him on Tuesday morning, he was like super close to the rail, and he's a really nice animal up close as well. So I can't talk you off that just after I saw him in person.
Yeah, I think he's got the most upside. I think, of the horses, I think that are, in with a significant chance to win, he's going to offer the best value. That said, he's shaping up to be the third or fourth choice in here. It's not as if he's going to be 30-1.
Yeah, we'll just have to see, how the odds check out on Derby Day and what kind of price we can get. We've learned about what to do. We've learned about what not to do. So hopefully these tips can help you with your handicapping this Derby season, and we'll see you on First Bet.